So the leaked DM situation revolving around Destiny has reached an absolute boiling point. You have one of Destiny's alleged victims en route to suing him. Destiny's own subreddit is eating him alive. Destiny's co-host of the Bridges podcast, Not So Erudite, is running defense for him in text messages with this alleged victim, and all of this could spell the doom for Destiny's career. I honestly don't know who's going to want to work with this guy after all of this coming out. Now, this whole situation started with the Destiny Kiwi Farm leaks, where an alleged hacker released a ton of information on Destiny on Kiwi Farms. It would be uncovered that Steven, or rather Destiny, used nudes and private tapes to seduce a known corn star. Now, this was the only confirmed case so far. However, there have been rumors for a while now that Destiny's, pretty loosey-goosey with these nudes and tapes that he has. Apparently, he has a whole slew of videos of him and his ex-wife Mel doing spicy stuff on camera, and he's been using these to seduce women. This is insane. Actually insane. Now, if you remember, these are the same leaks where the whole Nick Fuentes gay meme was going around, where people were saying Destiny was off. I don't know what I'm gonna actually have to censor to get this out there. I don't know what YouTube's gonna like, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Now, as funny as that would have been, it was totally false. Nick Fuentes is, as far as I know, not gay, and Destiny did not have any relations with him. However, a few particular pictures of a woman would end up being confirmed as Destiny Orbiter Pixie. Now, at the time, it was not fully confirmed that it was Pixie in these leaked images. Speculation would run rampant around YouTube circles, particularly with two creators. A creator known as Straighteraid and another creator known as President Sunday. We'll just put a pin in those two names for right now. We'll get back to that, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Now, DMs would eventually surface of Pixie confronting Steven on the use and distribution of these private images. These DMs would confirm that it was in fact Pixie who was depicted in these videos and images, and I just have to remind everyone it was not just images, but it was also explicit videos, which makes this like 10 times worse in my mind. At the time, Pixie wanted to keep a lot of this private. However, as time passes, it was becoming clearer and clearer that all of this was going to eventually come out. Destiny's co-host of the Bridges podcast and also handler in this situation, Not So Erudite, would reach out on behalf of Steven in text messages with Pixie. Now, for the sake of time, we will be summarizing this interaction. Feel free to pause and read the full thing, but the conversation goes as follows.
Pixie, did you end up talking to Steven? Erudite, not yet. Are you hinging a lot on my convo with him? Other than what you mentioned, is there anything to be brought up? Pixie, I think I'm going to decide my next course of action based on how that conversation goes. Basically, I have my plans/course of action paused and will choose something depending on if he agrees he has to make up/repent for the actions and want to work with me to find a way to do that, or if he doesn't feel that way, I feel like I tried explaining what I was feeling and he didn't really understand. And just to not scare you, I'm 100% not going to do anything to myself during the holiday season because I don't want to traumatize my friends. Even if he responds negatively, it doesn't mean I'll auto myself. I'm trying to contemplate all different courses of action, including going public, and then if I can't take the amount of humiliation, then I'll myself. I'm also looking into lawyers, but I just want to see what he says before deciding to do anything nuclear. Erudite, can I share this with Steven? He communicated to me he knows he fucked up. There is no excuse at all, and doesn't know what he can do for you to make it up. I'm trying to be a bridge between you two to help him understand what would make you feel like he understood he was wrong and should never do this again. Pixie, I felt like when we talked, you really understood where I was coming from and can hopefully explain this better than I can. Erudite, gotcha. Thanks for not sugarcoating anything about where you're at. I think what we talked about as what you needed goes, help remove the video from online, getting the guy who hacked charged, a sense that Steven understands how in the wrong he was, and a plan to prevent this from ever happening again. Pixie, yeah, the only problem is number 3, because even with removal of the video and getting the guy who hacked charged, Steven has to face consequences proportionate to his actions. I want this to be the most expensive mistake of his life. I don't have a dollar amount from the top of my head. It just has to be enough that for the rest of his life, when he thinks of the word nude, he associates it with the money he's lost. Erudite, okay, so that's what you want to pursue. It wasn't clear to me before that this is what you wanted specifically. My understanding was that it was more a sense of rehabilitation and justice, but you have a specific thing you want now, which is for him to lose a certain amount of money. Pixie, it is that. If he wants, he can donate money to some charity or organization. I just think that other than jail, money is the strongest reinforcer and losing it is the strongest punishment. Erudite, gotcha. I need to think about this then, because I'm happy to communicate what you need broadly as a sense of justice, but I am not sure what I think about the specifics of money and punishment in this case. Pixie, I believe rehabilitation situation is penance. I understand if you don't want to talk to Steven about it. I'm sorry for using you as an intermediary. Erudite. The part here about penance is super fair, and I'm comfortable asking him for that. This isn't about punishment, it's about making sure he is genuinely remorseful and changing his behavior. Pixie. I don't want to put people in a bad position, and I feel like I'm making everyone I talk to kind of sad whenever I talk about this stuff.
Now, within the messages, it's pretty clear that Pixie's looking for a monetary solution to this whole situation. Whether that's a good thing or bad thing, I mean, that's up for you to decide. If I'm being honest, I can't see this going any other way. Like, if this went to court, I think the only thing that would happen is some sort of payout or something. I can't see Destiny going to jail for something like this. I don't know if anyone really goes to jail for revenge or anything close to that. From my perspective, it doesn't seem crazy to want to skip the court process entirely. I mean, that's messy. It's costs a ton of money. I just can't imagine that being good for anyone involved. However, that is no longer the case. Pixie would make an official statement on Twitter saying that she's taking legal action against Destiny, also linking a fundraiser to help raise funds for the impending lawsuit. In her statement, not only did she clarify that she was only 19 at the time of the recording of these videos, making Destiny around 31 at the time, she also claims that Steven did this at least 3 other times. She also speaks about a long conversation that her and Destiny had over consent and boundaries, painting him out to be the world's biggest fucking hypocrite. It's always these guys that talk about consent and boundaries all the time that actually, break consent and boundaries. She would go on to say in her statement, quote, "Yes, you read that right. Stephen Kenneth Bonnell II sent graphic content to a random 19-year-old e-girl Discord kitten whom he had never met before." Now, while Pixie was in conversations with Erudite, she was also in conversations with another creator that we talked about earlier known as Straighterade. Now, in messages between Straighterade and Destiny, it essentially shows the two brainstorming solutions to the issue at hand, that is Pixie.
Straighterade. I don't know how much framing all of this in terms of relative harm helps. We're all egocentric, so even if that's true, I wonder if it's getting through to her. Destiny. I don't know what else to do. Straighterade. Cash. Fucking offer to pay her therapy or some shit. I don't know her employment situation, but I don't think it's good. Destiny. Do you really think so? LOL. I have zero problem with that. I thought about it, but it feels super ultra scummy, or like I'm just trying to buy off her feeling bad or something. But obviously 1,000,000,000% I would absolutely do this. Straighterade. Yes, I really think so. LOL. She mentioned pursuing a case against you in the first screenshot you sent me. Destiny. What do you think would be the appropriate way of even approaching her about that? Straighterade. She's not a high-profile micro-celebrity, and you didn't leak it maliciously. You didn't even leak it at all. You distributed it non-consensually.
That is actually insane to admit and say. Leaking them versus sending them non-consensually, like, what's the fucking difference at that point? I've never been in a relationship where I'm like eager to show someone else, nudes of a separate relationship. I don't understand how these polyamorous, polygon fucking people work, but this makes no sense to me. In any relationship I've ever been in, if I was sent nudes and that relationship ended, I delete those nudes. That's just how it goes. It's stupid. You shouldn't send nudes in the first place, but it happens. People are adults. They can do what they want. And if you get nudes and the relationship is over, you delete them. You don't save them to send to other people to rizz them up. Destiny's a fucking freak. I don't know how opinionated I really want to be in this video, but I have to say that's just how I feel about this whole situation. This guy is a fucking freak. Now, after all this, YouTuber President Sunday would make a video going over this whole situation. While the video itself isn't terrible, he did criticize commentary creators like Turkey Tom and Nicholas Diorio for not going public with this information sooner, seeing as they knew about this in the down low or whatever. In fact, using a private Discord call that he had with Nicholas Diorio to add some sort of credibility to his video.
That man developed such a stranglehold over his community that no one, no matter how disgusted they are, will dare call him out for this, even when it becomes public knowledge. And frustrated by the fact that people were beginning to lump him in with the others who were actively covering for Destiny, reached out to me directly to clarify why he was not being more vocal. What specifically would have to happen to trigger some kind of, determinate position on this in public for you?
I mean, I'll be super candid about it. You would need to talk.
Yeah? Would you have to talk publicly? Or do you just have to see it?
No, I think I've already seen it. I think she needs to talk publicly because, you know what I mean? It's like, if you don't have the person, then it's you fighting on behalf of somebody else. And I I've seen this go down so many times with content creators where if they don't have the support of the actual victim in the situation, you're fighting a losing battle from day one.
So principally your concern is that you're going to take a pretty big financial / audience hit if you were to.
Well, I think there's a genuine risk that I'm going to get left out to dry here, because if she doesn't say anything, or even worse, if she comes out and says it's not true, then I'm fucked.
So principally your concern is that you're going to take a pretty big financial / audience hit if you were to.
Well, I think this whole argumentation is retarded. There is no time where it makes sense to go and defend a victim who isn't publicly defending themselves or expressing that they want this story told to the public. At any moment, that girl could have been paid a sum of money, or she could have come to an agreement, and she could have just tweeted, hey, I don't know why you're covering this. This was actually all consensual. I said that Destiny could share this. And then, like, that's just my ass on the line. If she's not interested in protecting herself, I'm not telling her story on her behalf. She needs to publish that shit first every single time. It's as much a self-preservation thing as it's just like a general doing the right thing. I think there's a genuine risk. I'm sorry, would you put it past Destiny?
A lot of people who would otherwise potentially be ready to support the victims of Destiny's systemic abuse of female and male.
Support the victims, bro. You don't give a f about the victims. And that's my opinion, of course. He obviously disagrees. But I mean, don't sit here and pretend this is, oh, I need to do this for the victims. I need to do this for the victims.
And some people, in fact, are even going out of their way to run interference to protect Destiny from the consequences of his actions. But this is not a...
Again, I don't know what is Tom doing? I'm so confused. Like, what is the criticism of Turkey Tom? He covered it today. As soon as the story broke, Tom went live and covered it on his stream today.
To run interference to protect Destiny from the consequences of his actions. And it turns out...
He didn't say Tom did it. No, he just threw a picture of Tom up on the screen while he read it out loud. Oh, well, he didn't explicitly say Turkey Tom. It must have been a mistake. Surely that was a misclick. It fell on his timeline. He had no... Oh, it's about Tom Dark, not Turkey Tom. My apologies.
People.
That very night, Nicholas DeOrio would start a live stream to go over this whole situation and essentially defend content creators like himself that knew about this situation privately and why they didn't just leak everything ahead of time. In fact, President Sunday was getting so much pushback from the video during Nicholas DeOrio's live stream that he would freak out and post the entire Discord call for everyone to, listen to, and it still didn't make him look any better. Now, Destiny would make an official statement to his subreddit, r/Destiny, to his entire community, and this would backfire extremely.
Sometime in November, extremely sensitive and personal material of mine was leaked. This affected not only me, but many people in my life. I want to be clear, the leak happened without my knowledge, consent, or authorization. I never had an intention for any of these images to be published. I haven't spoken out publicly regarding this situation for a few reasons. One, I am actively pursuing criminal and civil litigations on these matters against multiple parties. Two, speaking publicly about these materials brings more attention to them, which harms all of the victims involved. Three, I have been trying to move on from covering drama content.
Bro, yeah, fucking right. That's what everybody says. I'm not gonna cover drama. Mudo Heart's the same shit. I don't want to cover drama. Anytime someone gets into drama, they always say, I'm not covering it no more. That's the bullshit, dude. You've been covering it since, like, up until this point. He was literally doing... I'm gonna have to put this in the video. He literally, like, last night or the night before was covering the pirate software drama. You can't call that anything but drama. What a fucking liar, dude. What a fucking liar, dude. Now, I'm going to put the rest of the statement right here on the screen, so you can pause it if you want to read the rest of it. I'm not reading, or, well, my buddy over there is not reading any more of this. Dude, his audience did not take this well. They are eating him alive on the subreddit, and that is not a joke. Now, there's not much more I can say about this situation. Destiny's obviously a freak, using nudes of other people to try to get with new people. I don't understand where this logic comes from. These people are completely sex-addicted gooners who need professional help. They need Dr. Phil or something. I don't know. I've been up entirely too long. See you in 3 days for the next video. Okay, goodbye.